Welcome. This is a basic explanation of the book of John for those who are unfamiliar with the Bible. This is day 10 on a playlist, and if you enjoy this, I hope you'll go back to day 1 and begin working your way through at that point. Today we're in chapter 3, verses 17 through 21, and John writes this in his letter: "For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only Son of God. And this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and people love the darkness rather than the light, because their works were evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light and does not come into the light, lest his works should be exposed. But whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out in God." Here we have another portion of this letter that will help us understand something about condemnation and punishment in a way that's probably different from how we would typically think about it. We might think that if we choose to not believe this message about Jesus, that we will then be subject to punishment and rejection from God. But that's not the case. The truth is that every person who is born into this world is already condemned. Why? Because we're born with a sin nature inherited from our family line that goes all the way back to Adam and Eve. We're born with a disobedient nature that nature shows itself in our very first days as babies and follows us all the days we're alive until we die. Now, did somebody say, "I'm pulling the not fair card"? I had nothing to do with that. Well, that's true. You didn't have anything to do with that. But when God created Adam and Eve, they became the representatives of all humanity. And we inherited their sinful nature. So refer back to day 8 on the videos, chapter 3, verses 1 through 15. I'll explain it a little more there. Unfortunately, this is our predicament, but the good news is that God is now offering to us a new representative, Jesus Christ. And we didn't do anything to earn that gift either. And while our first representative, Adam, put us on a path to be separated from God forever, Jesus has come to bear the punishment that we deserve and put us back into a right relationship with God. He reverses the curse that God promised to Adam and Eve if they disobeyed, and that curse is death. So here John is saying that no one is in some kind of neutral zone where you come to a point in your life where you're going to move toward God or move away from him. No, you're already in that place where we are away from God, and we'll stay away from him unless we grab hold of the one that he sent to save us. Jesus is that light that every person needs to see the truth about God and himself. If you're following along with me in this series, you're probably feeling the weight of those things. That is, the light is beginning to expose your heart. And now you can either draw back and say, "I don't want anything to do with this," or you can say, "I don't like what I'm feeling, but I know it's true, and I know I need to hear more." And this is what John is writing about when he says, "The light has come into the world, and people love the darkness rather than the light because their works were evil." He's saying that some people would prefer to continue in their sinful ways rather than deal with Jesus. And I'll admit it, I enjoy some of the sins that I commit. They give me a little burst of pleasure, never lasts very long, but it's hard to turn away from those things. I feel bad afterwards, and I talk to God about it because I know, as a follower of Jesus, I do have forgiveness. And I ask him to help me stay in the light and even show me when I'm beginning to drift towards some dark deeds, because I know his ways are best for me. And I know now that I represent him to other people, I want them to see God's goodness working in me. So let's wrap it up. Jesus did not come into the world to condemn us because our sin nature that we inherited from Adam already had us condemned. But now, if we're willing, we can embrace the light that Jesus is shining into our hearts, turn away from darkness, and lay hold of Jesus' sacrifice that puts us back in a right relationship with God. Tonight, pray that God will do a work in your heart and mind so that you'll welcome the searching light of Jesus and be willing to walk in that light with Him. Thanks for listening in, and I hope to see you next time.